It was just like a weight lifted off of our shoulders. And all of a sudden I wasn't alone, I had some support.
Nakamaru Hale is something that there is no other place like it.
We are all family here, whether we realize it or not.
Nakamaru Hale is Hospice of Kona's answer for our patients that have nowhere else to go. At end of life, when a hospice patient requires caregiving and has a lot of caregiving needs, and those needs either can't or aren't being met, the Nakamaru Hale is a place that the families can bring their loved ones to, so that family members can be families. The patient's going to be well taken care of. Hospice of Kona had been talking about opening an inpatient facility, doing something to meet the needs for the patients that had nowhere else to go. When the Nakamarus approached us and said they had this house that was all of that. It was designed to be a care home. It was safe. It was nestled in the coffee land, in a comfortable place, in a cool environment. And it's a home.
It's a great fit for us because Kent's father and mother were very philanthropic, and he would be really happy to know that we're doing this. And it just feels really good.
And just seeing the number of people that have been going through there, seeing the help that they've been offered, I'm really glad that the families can get respite care. They can live their final days with great care and not a lot of stress on the family.
We're thankful to the Nakamaru family for collaborating with Hospice of Kona. The primary source of funding for Nakamaru Hale comes from Hospice of Kona's Memory Lane.
The purpose of our boutique here is, I have to go back to 3 words that are in our mission statement, and that's care, comfort, and compassion. Care for one another, care for our patients, compassion for what they're going through, for the families, and comfort. They'll come here and talk about their family or what they're going through if they're a current patient. We have a rule here, no matter how busy we are, if they want to talk, we stop and we listen. So that's the compassion that we have here.
Hospice care is interdisciplinary, and that means that it is a team providing care to the patient. And the team that provides that is the RN. The RN case manager is leading that team. Our social workers are working with the family. Our spiritual care provider comes in and is assisting not only the patient and their family, but also our team through this process. We get very attached to our patients. Our medical director oversees everything that is required for the patient's medical condition. Our volunteer team comes in. The diversity in our volunteer team is incredible. And the nursing assistants. Without our CNAs, we couldn't do this. They're so necessary as part of that team.
When I went through the hospice training, I was trying to find a spot, and I walked back here and saw the greenhouse and all the orchids, and I said, I'm going to take care of the orchids and put them in the house and give them to the patients.
Our volunteers are the heart and soul of Nakamaru Hale. The services they provide are invaluable. The volunteers bring themselves, they bring laughter, compassion, caring, joy, music, and they ask for nothing in return. They give unconditionally and walk away with so much more.
I like volunteering for something as important as hospice. The money does go to Nakamaru Hale, and I think it's well worth the time for a volunteer as well as the cause.
They all are there to provide the custodial care and the nursing care so that the patients are comfortable, that their symptoms are managed, that they have as good a quality of life as possible. We also help with meeting the needs of the family to help shore up the caregiver, because there's a tremendous amount of stress in providing care to a loved one.
We have been at Nakamaru Hale taking care of my father. I was terrified to send him here.
because I've had some experience with long-term, short-term care facilities. Going into the experience was terrifying until we got here, and it was just like a weight lifted off of our shoulders.
Seeing families, wives, kids come in and they have just an exhausted look on their face, see that relief when as soon as they get in there, their loved one gets comfortable, to see that look of relief is so important.
You're not prepared nobody teaches you how to deal with this stuff. Nobody teaches you how to walk through cancer. And since we got here, everybody has just taken the reins and said, this is how you walk through cancer. We're going to help you through this.
And that's so important, that quality of life, that relief that you're not alone, because many people are caring for their loved ones in their own homes by themselves.
I'm getting sleep again. I can sit by his bed and enjoy my time with him and hold his hand and feed him his meal, and I don't have to worry about all the other tasks that are involved.
It just feels like you've walked into a home with trained staff and that are loving and competent and caring, and they've walked us through this whole experience.
There's a gap in the care in our community where there's patients aren't in the hospital, but they're too sick to be at home. Their caregivers aren't able to care for them at home, so the Hale is a good area to fill in that puka in our community.
We came here and he looked around for about 5 minutes, then he said, "I'll take it." So I was just taken aback, and he told us, "Wow, you can just go home now." I said, "Well, Dad, we didn't even bring anything. We don't have your clothes or any of your supplies or medication, so we'll have to come back." So, that's what his initial impression was. I mean, they have everything. They're well staffed. They can take care of all the medications, medical supplies. It's like a home.
It is a very positive environment. It also has a very positive energy that is hard to explain. It's very much like a home. I mean, on any given day, there's food being made, so it smells of baked goods and fresh, stew or whatever it is for that day. So it gives anyone a place to have compassionate care and to be taken care of with dignity.
There's so much more joy in being able to relieve a stressor for a family member, to fulfill a bucket list item for a patient. There's all these, it's not any one particular thing. There's so many different aspects to hospice that bring a lot of joy.
This is a poem that I wrote, and it's called Helpfulness. People have helped me so much that I feel the need to make sure that what they do is not forgotten. I would like their story to be told, the names never to be forgotten. The nurses and all the staff up at the Hale are wonderful people who have helped me through a very troubling part of my life by providing me with meals, food, water, and lots of joyful times. You kind of wonder why a person becomes a nurse, since it requires so much dedication and fortitude. Even though these people are trained to treat you right, they still put their hearts into it, and that makes it real. Thank you so much.
It's the gift of quality that we give. The chance to change, to have one moment, one good day, a good day against bad days is a gift.
The general feeling in the house is loving, positive, warm at all times. The grandkids pile on Papa's bed, read him stories and feed him cookies, and it's allowed our family to gather and spend quality time with him. and know that he's got loving care.
Having the Hale has been just a huge blessing in order to know that our patients are going to get the care that they need for 24 hours a day.
They can meet all of his needs here in actually a more efficient way than we could at home because it was so difficult.
As soon as a patient comes on to hospice, they have an option of a spiritual care provider. The patient doesn't have to have a particular spiritual practice to benefit from spiritual care. It's just that this time of life brings up all these spiritual questions, and oftentimes people have questions that they didn't even know they had, so I kind of walk alongside people and am their companion in the questions, and I also provide support to the families as they go through their own process.
This type of care that's provided by the staff at Nakamaru Hale, that can't go away. A hospice residential home is how hospice was originally designed to do. It's an extension of someone's home, and it needs to be there.
It's really the first of its kind to help people that have family members that are in hospice.
When I have to stop and think about what Hospice of Kona would look like today without Nakamaru Hale, I can't do that without tears coming to my eyes. And it's because I've met the patients that go there. I have had friends in the Hale die there. I have had loved ones of friends in the Hale. I've had perfect strangers who have become friends. And it takes a community to raise a child. It also is going to take a community to make sure that we are properly raising up our loved ones at end of life, that we are celebrating their life all the way until that last minute, and we can leave them and feel good about what we did.
I have a new commitment to pay it forward and be here for the next families that are going to need this facility. It's really it's a needed part in our community for everyone.
And to not have a place to feel like you can call home for right now, a soft place to land, it's so important to walk outside and to let your family come in and grieve through this process. And if you don't have a place like this, I don't know what we would do.
We get all choked up sometimes when people talk to us about what it's meant to their family. So it's important to us that this concept remain, and anything that anybody can do to help us keep this open and available to the community would be wonderful.
To not have the Hale, I think, would just be hard for our community, and it would be a disservice to the patients and families that deserve good care.
Is immensely important so that we can keep our families going and feel that they're supported. And now we have a place to offer respite.
If anybody is just kind of waffling about either donating time or money, you have to pay it forward in life.
I think it helps so many people that I can't even imagine what it would be like for a lot of those patients if it wasn't there.
There's certain people who would really like the hospice experience and are outside of it. And Nakamaru Hale has been able to bring them in.
Having that place, having that safe place to care for and honor and celebrate our lives until the last minute should never go away.